Hi, welcome back. Joe here. I'm excited you stuck with me and I can't wait to walk you through my best life breakthrough training. Committing to living a new financial life isn't easy. In this video, you're going to uncover how to move forward from where you are today and begin your journey to clarity on your financial situation, ultimately creating control over your financial life. So, to get things started, I want you to picture something. Imagine waking up a few months from now, you feel like a weight has been lifted off your shoulders because you finally feel like you have control over your financial life. It almost seems surreal. Yet here you are enjoying this new financial clarity. It seems like a bit of a dream, right? I'm here to tell you that this can be your life and I'll show you how to do it. Look, I get it. You might be skeptical. After all, you've tried to get a hold of your finances before, but it didn't work. You were talked into trying this product or that strategy, and you didn't exactly get the results you were looking for. If that's the case, please know that's not your fault. The financial industry is set up to create transactions, or in other words, they try to get you to buy products. There aren't many of us that charge independently of products, which allows me to simply tell you what I think you should do. Or maybe you're just grasping the reins of your family's financial situation after a significant life transition, and you don't know where to start to get your affairs in order. And you know there's a big risk in working with someone who only wants to get you into a product so they can create a commission. That is a valid concern. It's also possible that you've never asked for help with your finances. From a young age, we receive the message that having a solid financial situation is simply part of being an adult, something that is assumed that we all do. But that's simply not reasonable to expect given we don't learn about finances in school, our parents typically don't pass on any life lessons in this area, and it is considered taboo to share our financial situation with our friends, especially in search of advice. I've encountered all of these situations and more in my practice, and I'm here to tell you that you can achieve tremendous improvement in your situation. I know because I've guided many families along this path. See, there are a lot of other people just like you who didn't think they would get the clarity they needed to gain control over their situation either. I've worked with them, I know them. Today, they see things differently. They don't have an elephant sitting on their chest every time they enter finance mode. And they got there by committing to transformation, beginning with the steps we'll discuss in a few moments. Before we dig in, you might be wondering exactly how I developed this process and why you should listen to me. Well, let me tell you a little bit more about myself and my background. Before transitioning to help individuals and families, I was responsible for investing nearly $20 billion in corporate cash and managing money for some of the country's largest foundations, endowments, and corporations. I was living my dream job, a prominent investor working on Wall Street, that is, until I started to see what was really going on. This world of big money doing big things for big people and the professionals in it weren't smart with the way they were handling money. It was all about getting the highest return, which led many to putting clients' money into products and strategies that weren't protecting the liquidity they needed in their daily operations. It was around this time that a market crash took place, and it was surreal to see professionals around me reeling from it. Not to squash my own kind, but in my mind, this was shameful. We all know market crashes happen, or at least we should, and we should always be preparing for them. You see, investing is about the people, the real people who actually own the funds we invest. It's about what they will use the funds for and when. That's the first and most important aspect of building the right portfolio. It was also at this time that I was published in the Wall Street Journal for speaking out against the high-risk instrument my fellow investors used and unfortunately failed with. I then started getting calls from individuals all across the country who had 100% of their investments locked up with no help. They couldn't even pay their bills. And that's when it hit me. I'm not working with real people. I realized I could do more by working with real people who are trying to make their money work for them in a world where Wall Street is working against them. In fact, if you recall from the last video, I shared a personal story about my wife, Monique, and how she was cheated out of immediate access to her insurance claim by a fast-talking salesman who was only after a quick commission. Unlike many of my peers in the financial world, I'm not here to sell you a product or a one-off strategy. I'm here to guide you through the financial world with a systematic process that allows for your unique situation and goals. We will get you to a place where you can use your money to live a fulfilled life instead of feeling like your money situations are bossing you around. As you learn the process, an evolution in your thinking about finances will occur. To begin, notice what we do not include. We do not rehash old bad decisions. We all have those, and there's no point feeling bad about them anymore. Instead, we already know you have learned from your past mistakes. The fact you've come this far in our process proves it. We do not include any huge promises about financial salvation, whatever that is. There is no magic pill. Only honest, direct assessment of where you are, where you want to go, and how to get there. We do not default to any particular solution. The best solution for you is different than the best solution for your neighbor. And we want to build a financial life that is not only best for you, but one you can and will achieve. We want to make sure you will follow through. As you begin the process, the clouds begin to part, revealing that it actually is possible for you to achieve what you want in life. While your view of where you want to be may seem impossible today, experience has taught me that we actually undershoot with our expectations, simply because we know we are not planning and executing on the right path. Even in the very beginning, as you clearly define your goals and values, you will feel material distractions fall aside, clearing the way toward how you really want to live your financial life. Soon, the pull of material things that are not aligned with who you actually are will lessen, fade, and then finally disappear. The weight of that elephant on your chest has begun to lift, and you will begin to breathe more easily. Next, as we dive into the facts of your current finances, the clarity of your situation begins to form. You will come to know exactly what you have, what you make, and what you spend. Understanding that these are the building blocks of your financial success is a huge step towards incorporating wisdom in your financial decisions. Once we begin to project your cash flows throughout your life, the vision of your future begins to come into sight. For the first time, you'll have an actual projection of your account balances throughout the rest of your life that comes from a reality in your situation. At once, this is the most moving, powerful phase of the process. No longer can the elephant simply pounce upon your chest again. When he tries, you will remember that your projected lifetime cash flows say, yes, you can. And yet now, the work has just begun. With the reality of your life's financial situation laid out in front of you, you can begin to ask, what if? You see, we've built much more than just a projection of your finances, as valuable as that is. We've built a model that can be updated to keep you pointed in the right direction no matter what life throws at you and no matter how you may change in the future. What if I wanted to retire early? We can simply change the model, show the effect it will have. What if we want to buy a vacation home? We simply change the model. What if I lose my job? We change the model, and so on. Without further ado, let's get started. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the first steps to create your best financial life. Very simply, we are going to talk about dropping your history, your first financial decision. What is this thing called financial fulfillment that we are gunning for? First, let's take a moment to recognize that financial mistakes happen. They are a part of life, and you are not alone in your struggles. And to prove it, I'm happy to share the biggest financial mistake I made. I got caught up in the housing bubble and purchased a home with a mortgage that, for me, was unsustainable. At the time, I was working for a bank in Los Angeles, and I had just gotten married to Monique, and we were living in temporary housing down there. It was 2003, and the sticker shock was reverberating in us. After looking at 50 or more properties, the price limit we had set just continued to rise. At the time, banks were offering interest-only mortgages with fixed rates 3 and 5 years. And by paying only the interest on your mortgage, you can certainly afford a lot more house, or at least according to the bank, you can. However, after those 3 or 5 years when the mortgage resets, the payment would skyrocket. I distinctly remember feeling that we would be able to refinance before we got there. That was the game I got caught up in. Now, shortly after closing on the house, my job turned sour and I began looking for another position. Luckily, the new job was back up in the Bay Area, which forced me to go through my mortgage strategy again. This time around, I realized the incredible risk I had taken on by buying a home that was way over our heads. The only reason it worked for us was the loan structure, and that had an end date of 5 years. It seems crazy now that I would put my family at risk of losing our home, but at the time we make decisions, we all do the best we can. I was very lucky to have another chance to think through the risk that I was taking, and ultimately, when we moved to Blackhawk, we used a much more stable loan structure. Some of you may not have been as lucky as I was. Perhaps you've gone through a divorce that felt financially devastating, or maybe you got caught up in the bubbly markets of the dot-com era. Whatever your financial past has been, we cannot let it inhibit your financial future any longer. To truly get to financial joy, we must start by dropping our history and focusing on where you are today, where you want to be in the future, and what needs to get done to get there. It doesn't matter what happened in the past or how things may have gone wrong. What does matter is your commitment to improve. Right here, right now, your financial past is no longer with you. You are taking a new step forward and dropping your history. Does that feel good? It should. You have now taken the first step towards your best financial life. The next thing to do, and you'll want to come back to this from time to time, is ask yourself the most important financial question there is. Are you looking to optimize your current situation? Or are you looking for huge improvement? The great majority of what passes for financial advice is directed at optimization instead of drastic improvement. Any tip, hint, or singular transaction is just a tweak on your financial situation and should be treated as such. That's not to say you have to be in poor shape to experience drastic improvement. You don't. In fact, for most people, simply understanding their current situation, what they own, what they make, what they spend, and what they owe, can be a radical improvement. This type of realization helps you grasp the bigger picture rather than spending energy on some minor issue. Your finances have to be in very good shape before you begin to think about optimizing. We will get there, but realize that when we do, the marginal benefit of spending time and resources on your finances may not be worth the payoff. Instead, you may want to sit down with a good book or spend more time with your kids or grandkids. Wouldn't it be great to be able to do those things you really want to do with your day without feeling like some part of your financial life is being neglected? By focusing only on the areas that provide huge improvement in your financial life, you know you'll be getting the payoff you deserve in exchange for the effort it takes. So let's understand how we know whether we are focused on huge improvement. First, we need to define the payoff you need, and this begins by assessing where you are today. Do you have so much money that you will never want for anything? If so, you might be wondering why you're spending any time at all on this, and I'd be wondering that too. That makes me think of Lovey Howell from Gilligan's Island. Even on a deserted island, she seemed to have everything she needed or wanted. Even her beloved husband Thurston would run himself ragged, making sure that her every whim was satisfied. Anyway, I'm guessing that's not you. Instead, do you have concerns that you might not be able to do all the things you want in life? Is it possible your plans, which seem entirely realistic today, will not be realized due to financial decisions you make in the future? Though we don't like to admit it, this is the way most of us feel. And while it can be hard to ask for help in our finances, it can be a game changer that allows us to do everything we want in life. You see, you truly have something at stake when it comes to your finances. Making the right decisions over time can actually get you where you want to go. And not making the best decisions can mean great disappointment in your later years. Another way we know we need to make huge improvement comes from the simple fact that you are now putting forth the effort. There's a reason we put off dealing with our finances. It's a mundane task that has high stakes and can drain our energy rapidly. In school, we're never really taught how to deal with money. On the home front, parents don't tend to share their financial success or burdens. much less the strategies they use to survive. And of course, it can seem messy, embarrassing, or perhaps like you're bragging if we talk about such things with our friends. As a result, all we know is what comes from between our own ears. Our information is insulated from the successful strategies others may have used, and we are left to navigate our financial world with only what we develop internally. All of that said, there are several things to consider when looking at the big picture. First, there is most likely no financial emergency in your life. Financial challenges tend to evolve over time, and their solutions also take time to determine and implement. If you are feeling rushed into a decision, take it as a sign that something has gone sideways. Step back and reevaluate at a time when you feel renewed energy for the topic. Also, financial solutions are specific to who you are and what you want. It's okay if someone else in a similar situation chose a solution that makes you uncomfortable. There are many solutions to any financial problem. The key is to find the path that is right for you, given your desires and your willingness to take on risk in exchange for getting what you want. As a general rule, the simpler path is the better path. The financial industry is designed to work against this truth. And the sooner you come to accept this fact, the sooner you will be able to make better decisions for yourself. What passes for financial advice most of the time is just a way to sell financial products. And the more complicated the product, the higher the pay for the advisor and his firm. In addition, if you just want someone to tell you what to do, be wary of who you ask because most financial professionals are paid based on the advice they give. Understand fully how your advisor gets paid, and you will have great insight into their motivations. Simply put, I define financial fulfillment as when we are entirely in control of our finances, using them to achieve what we want in life. It's a state of mind that comes from financial success and at the same time requires us to live up to our financial responsibilities. It's when we move from making decisions based on our finances to wielding our finances to make the best life decisions for us and our family. Sounds great, right? But how do we know when that is? You'll know when you've achieved it because that's when you see decisions you make today leading to exactly where you want to be tomorrow. Here's a more actionable way to think about this. To achieve your best financial life, you must have clarity in today's situation so you can have control of where you're going tomorrow. This in turn allows you to act intentionally throughout your financial life. Clarity, control, intention. Let's talk about these a bit more. First, clarity. Finding clarity in your goals, resources, and strategies is perhaps the most significant step towards financial fulfillment. What you want to accomplish in life must be known before you can begin to plan for it. Makes sense, right? Once you know where you want to go, you will also need to have an understanding of your current resources and how they can be applied to your financial desires. We have various savings accounts, perhaps life insurance and annuities, and other financial products that can be used in multiple ways. We must understand the limitations of these resources and, of course, the tax effects for using them. For example, would you rather have $1 million in an IRA or $800,000 in a savings account? Because the IRA funds have not yet been taxed, they actually represent far less than $1 million of buying power. So that savings account balance is much more attractive. All that being said, we must also realize that our goals can change over time. That's why we strive to build our life plan with flexibility so we can change course when we want or need. Now that we have clarity, we can exert control. At this point, working with our finances starts to feel good. We know what we have and we are using it to get what we want. When we hear of a new strategy or a friend recommends something that they think we should do, we understand we have a process for making that decision. We can look at the difference that recommendation might make in our overall lives and understand whether it is worth pursuing. No longer are we distracted by a shiny new tactic or strategy, but at the same time, we feel confident we can incorporate anything new that actually makes sense. One simple, tangible indication that we are here is that we are no longer paying any unnecessary banking fees like interest charges or overdraft protection. Instead, we have a process in place that makes sure we pay our bills on time and we have enough funds in the right accounts to do so. Another is that we can now tie the decisions we make today with where we want to be in the future. Knowing, for example, that cutting back on dining out helps us to retire a year early makes cooking at home fun rather than a chore. Now that we have clarity and are in control of our finances, we can begin to live intentionally with our resources. Living intentionally through our finances is ultimately where we want to be. It's not enough just to be in control. We want to be able to act intentionally both in our everyday lives and while working toward our long-term life goals. At this stage, trade-offs between our financial decisions today and what we want in the future become obvious. We no longer feel like we don't have enough or that we must deprive ourselves in order to have long-term success. Only then will we truly understand the risks we are taking financially and how we must adjust to see results quickly. We do this not because we have thought through every possibility, but because we have our overriding goals that are grounded in the reality of our own financial lives. Living with intention is the closest we can come to a perfect financial life. So, now that all of this is marinating, I'm going to redirect us back to my imagine if scenario from the beginning of this video. And I want you to start thinking of it as not so much of an imagine if, but a when it happens scenario. Because when you commit to this journey, you'll finally say goodbye to all of the anxiety and unknown. You won't feel on edge, wondering if you can meet certain needs or wants. Instead, you will say hello to control, confidence, and be able to live life with financial intention. Now the next part is up to you. You can either take these lessons, these nuggets of wisdom, and try to navigate your own journey, or we can take a deeper dive together. By working directly with me, I can help implement everything we just talked about, tailoring each step of the way to your lifestyle and your needs. Remember, when I said that financial fulfillment is possible if you do the work, that's just it. It is work. So if you're not committed and not ready to dig in and take a good look at your financial life, then this isn't for you. I put together a special package today called Best Life Breakthrough. This will set you up for success from the get-go by immediately discovering your pain points and shifting focus to address them, by clarifying your big picture and defining how you will confidently make the best financial decisions possible each step of the way. With this type of financial clarity, you will be able to control your decisions better, ultimately driving financial success and allowing you to live intentionally, fulfilling life goals, dreams, and wishes. The Best Life Breakthrough consists of a comprehensive financial life review and planning strategy recalibration that includes your clarity dashboard setup, 2 discovery meetings defining your goals and values and understanding your spending history and plan, 3 short-term and lifetime cash flow projection meetings, investment philosophy, discovery meeting, investment strategy, implementation meeting. But that's just the beginning. You will also get unlimited support. So if you need more meetings than those that I've just listed, then by all means, we'll have more meetings. Not to mention, I will be readily available by phone and email too. My services are lifelong and designed to shepherd you through life's ups and downs. Remember, my goal is to create an environment that allows you to confidently make the best decisions possible for you and your family. We never move forward until you are ready and comfortable to do so, because ultimately we are here to build your best financial life. With all that said, I want you to take a second and just think what it would be like to understand what you truly want in life, regardless of life's curveballs. What it would be like to have a full and clear understanding of your finances, where your money comes from, where it goes, how it's serving you, and how it's not. And with that clear understanding comes your confidence in knowing you can make intentional choices with your money that not only serves all of your goals, getting you exactly where you want to be without the stress and without the worry, but also yields results. What would that have done for your life, for your lifestyle, for your outlook on the future, your ability to provide for your family. That's the power that this program gives you. Look, it'd be nearly impossible to lay out everything here, but I think you get the idea. Feeling such freedom with money is hard to put a price tag on, right? Money is such a taboo topic, but what I'm navigating you through is a movement that is proven to give you tremendous improvement in your financial life. So what's the bottom line? You'll get all of this for just $8,500 the first year and then $5,000 annually after that, because it contains an entire systematic life cycle approach, personalized unlimited one-on-one coaching, and a host of other tools and resources. If at any point you feel like, hey, I'm living my best financial life right now, you can downshift to the Best Life Maintenance Plan. This includes email support only and a monthly review of your files so we can stay up to speed on your individual situation. This is designed for that point when you feel like you can put your finances on autopilot for a period of time. This is offered to clients at a special rate of $1,800 a year. And of course, you can always ramp things back up to unlimited if need be. Life does happen. Family financial challenges have always been an afterthought for Wall Street. With over 25 years of experience in the industry, this is evident to me by the lack of appropriate services and an unwillingness to engage on a personal level. I was able to clearly see the holes that had developed on the personal side of finance. I'm here to end the destructive risks taken on as a result of false and misleading statements that come out of the financial world by providing a balance between your financial aspirations, resources, and accepted risks. So that's why I'm so excited about my program and the value it provides, because it contains every tip, tactic, and secret I have gained over a 25-year career as an expert in the markets. Financial advice does not have to be dictated by stuffy suited men from Wall Street. So I say it's time to invest in yourself today. Click here to schedule your free 30-minute consultation so we can get started discussing your path to living your best financial life. During this call, we will review your financial landscape, highlight what's working for you and what's not. We will discuss what you want to accomplish. We will work to understand your pain points. We will discuss any pressing decisions you are faced with today. And finally, we will clarify details of My Best Life Breakthrough Training and how it may relate to your situation. Since you are taking time to commit and re-educate yourself in this journey on this program, you are setting a standard for not only yourself, but your loved ones and those around you. True financial health doesn't have to be and shouldn't be so taboo. The best part is once we get started and implement this process, you'll have the knowledge you need to have the financial life you want, need, and deserve. Many clients are amazed at the clarity after just one meeting, wondering why they didn't commit to the journey sooner. So now it's up to you. Get started now, today, or continue as you are now, down the uneasy, unfulfilling path that's not genuinely serving you. All you have to do is click here now. I look forward to talking to you.